Good morning, everyone. And why am I cheerful when I was so completely wrong about a lot of things? Well, being an admittedly nut job dude, of course I can easily get sucked into stuff right off the bat. That's the fun. That's the fun part of being able to look at it all, not being afraid of it, not being any sort of coward or statist who would do what I'm told. I can take a peek. Man, in less than 24 hours, I know I was duped. They rope-a-doped me in, and a couple things I learned turned out to be false, and they were very powerful. So I was sucked right in. Thank goodness those people aren't even demised. That part's awesome. Thank goodness that video was wrong. And the fortunate thing is it actually doesn't take away from the data. So I'll admit that I would need a bunch more research into all the people dropping over on camera because it's probably 5G, which we'll do at a much later date when that data is better. The intro data is already in, so once again, it's that, but I know it's coming. It's how much opposition propaganda can be put up before we get the actual data. But we're going to move back to yesterday's documentary that's blowing up the internet from both sides, which is awesome. That's why I'm saying I think it's the rope-a-dope. I think I got drawn into the corner and I got smacked a couple times. Man, you're wrong. Yep, okay, I admit it. Everybody, it turns out the person who fell under the train even lived. And the video that put me in my place, some snooty, horrible person in my personal opinion, but that's what he called me because I believe the other side, made an actual point. And then you buy right into it, so blah, blah, blah. Why can't you? Well, I admit I was wrong. But leaving out the squid portion and everything caught on closed circuit TV, I learned a different piece of data that Robert Kennedy and the Supreme Court, that's a done deal. Irreversible damage on the court case is settled. That junk gives, if you're one of the few unfortunate damaged by it, that's irreversible. Highest court in the land, done deal. I'm not lying. I was wrong about a couple salacious video clips within a film. The Pfizer data is gospel truth. Okay, there's one for one. Boom, boom! Oh, wow, I fought my way out of the corner. Yes, you got me. The basketball player, fake. Gosh, they put that in there. Boom, boom! Oh, you knocked me back in the corner. You got one up on me. I don't care what any young person says. It's not the media. All the people dropping over. It's not a coincidence, and it's not global warming. Now, I could be wrong, but this is just an exchange. Nobody gets any shots in here, but it's permissible. So did Bill Gates say he was going to save the world by making us healthier, or did he say he was going to save the world by depopulating it? Oh, I just laid you out with an upper, reverse, Joe Rogan back kick, and now you're breathing and blowing snot bubbles in the middle of the canvas. You got me. You rope-a-dope me. You got me. I think I'm using this term right. I think that's the convince you that you're so arrogant and right that you can come and tell me how it's all debunked. Well, it's not. A couple of those things are. And I'll even leave the squid creature out. I'll say maybe that's a byproduct of mortality. Ooh, I can do that. Maybe I'm wrong about all that. Cool. Let's brush that to the side. That's gone. I'm wrong. I was wrong. I admit I'm wrong. Really grateful for the holiday miracle I'm having right now. Because I can totally admit that I'm wrong and that I was passionate about something where I was misled. It's too bad cult members can't see where they're misled and own some of their own personal responsibility. Sitting alone in their car, masked up, terrified, thinking that I'm supposed to be terrified too. Well, here's the thing. I can be wrong every day of my life. It doesn't matter. I have that free will. I thought about it really long and hard last night because I knew I was wrong less than a half hour after I posted the video. But I was like, I'll wait till the morning. Let's see how many people want to jump out like Joe douchebag on the Twitter, put me in my place and call me a conspiracy theorist. That's like every person who wants to quote the popular mechanics stuff for 9/11. So here's the thing. I had to be told that passports magically fly through there and land on the ground unscathed. Okay, I buy that. Then I had to go down all the rabbit holes, and there were no planes. Well, I don't believe that. Magic orb. I went that deep into 9/11, so I went down the magic orb. I went down the mini nukes. Man, none of that. None of it panned out. It turned out I had to apologize for years. Except for things like only seen once, all of the stairwells, all of the people who have unfortunately passed now. And then architects and engineers was granted a grand jury hearing to look at explosive evidence, of explosive demolition evidence. Now, I don't care if you're a flat earther who believes there was no planes. That part of the story is fictional for me, and I just go with it. Architects and engineers getting the grand jury to hear evidence of explosive demolition, that's the end of the argument. They had evidence. They couldn't get the grand jury if they didn't have it. Even if they lost, which I don't even know because it turns out I'd have to look into it. But if that doesn't hold up, I'm pretty sure that Alaskan professor or the Alaskan computer school, I can't, I'd have to look deeper into it because it's been a while. I'm not on this for years. Pretty sure they have dispelled the NIST model completely. So those two things, keeping in mind my copy of the 9/11 Commission report is sitting right there. What a load of fiction that shit is. I have every right to believe I believe your cell phone is giving you the big C. I'm allowed to believe that. I can be wrong. When it's proven wrong, I'll admit it. When it's proven right, I try not to gloat. So, there is some bad rope-a-dope-a mofo into the corner video in that died suddenly. I think they put it all in there because it's time to come to the table and talk. Yep, I own the part that I'm wrong about. Cool. Let's talk about the Pfizer data out loud then. Don't have me, stop having me canceled. Stop having other people canceled or controlled or silenced. You get to cry about how I was wrong about the train station. I was wrong. I admit it. Let's talk about the Pfizer data. Let's talk about the whistleblowers under perjury of whatever. That people lie all the time. I don't think that's a good argument. Let's just talk about the statistics, the numbers. And then if your only argument is coincidence or climate change, man, go somewhere else where you find your echo chamber, where you like that stuff. I believe the New World Order is definitely controlling and depopulating the planet. Why? Because they said it. They said COVID's going to rebuild the, they said it. So, in conclusion, I'm wrong. I was wrong. Wrong. Rollen was wrong. The guy who Rollen really is in real life, I'm wrong. Pfizer data is real. They tried to hide it and they couldn't. Let's talk about that next then. You want to play hardball? You think you knocked me down? You didn't knock me out. At all. You didn't knock none of us out because it's not I'm not actually anti anything. I want to talk about the possibilities. See, if they really did put all those sick people in with the old people and then killed off grandma because now they're saying they might not be able to afford to keep people alive and we might have to contemplate letting people go. Oh, all you young people that agree with that, you're going to have hell to pay, you demonic people. Now, that's for entertainment purposes. You're probably wonderful because I'm not talking to any real people. But boy, if you believe in killing off the old. See, you didn't pay your dues to have your kids snuff you out because you're an inconvenience. And I don't care what any of you do at 25, I'm not impressed. Can you make it to 85? That's a lot more impressive. Depopulation, we're way too smart. We could handle everything we have thrown at us because every time, because it's never been the horror story they make it out to be, and you're not going to start it now. I don't believe in none of that. Now, I could be wrong like everything else. But this is the whole point of being able to have a discussion. If you're not able to have the discussion, this is the wrong place. If we can't still get along after some parts are wrong and some parts are right and they're somewhere in the middle, then it's the wrong place. But I want to spend the next couple years making sure I work for the part of the world I want to continue. Liberty, freedom, independence. Those things don't apply to anyone doing harm, indoctrination, or control. I do not care if the people who want to control the whole planet think they're going to control it through freedom. That's a lie. You can't have both. I do not believe in survival of the fittest. I don't think strong people should just get rid of weak people. That all being said, the evidence sides with my crazy thoughts, not the fact that 2 videos in that movie were, at least 2, some of that stuff was wrong. The facts lay in we are allowed to have this discussion. If it's wrong or if it's right. The parts we're wrong about, if you're the bigger person, you can admit you're wrong. Now I want to hear anyone tell me, when that New Zealand Prime Minister said they're the only people who know truth. If you believe that stuff, I'm trying hard not to curse, you believe that kind of stuff when a person in authority tells you they're the only people who know better? My question is ignorance bliss? Is ignorance bliss? Because I'm nobody and I know that's not true. That the entire history of government has more facts of it being a lying, corrupt thing than ever being to help us. And progressives better wake up to that reality. Not everything is a happy rainbow drag show. Some of those things are actually events where bad people are stalking children. And it turns out we're allowed to say these things. We're allowed. We can be wrong. but we're allowed to have the conversation. The moment we don't get to, I personally believe the people who want more suicide pods are going to win. And you people are demonic demons. Demons. Happy Thanksgiving.